Ohio State's winning the championship next year, and these are who I think are their top 10 players. But first, I have Kyle McCord. I didn't know really where to put him. He only thrown like 60 career passes, started one game, which was against Akron, so it doesn't really even count. But I think he will have a really good year and become the next great Buckeye quarterback. Some honorable mentions: Steele Chambers, Julian Fleming, Cade Stover. Steele Chambers, former running back turned linebacker, gone better every year. This should be his last year. Him and Tommy Eichenberg, Cody Simon. Really great linebacking core. Third receiver, Julian Fleming, former #1 ESPN recruit. Last year was finally healthy, was an amazing third receiver, could be a first receiver at almost any other school. And then Cade Stover last year, the tight end, came back to win a championship, had like 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. Let's get into the top 10. At number 10, I have Lathan Ransom. Ohio State last year started 3 safeties. Ronnie Hickman and Tanner McAllister are both on the Browns now. Lathan Ransom is the only one still there. Think he'll be their main safe this year. Also have Cameron Martinez. Last year, 74 tackles, 1 interception. Think he'll become one of the best safeties in the country. At number 9, I got Denzel Burke. Was better as a freshman than a sophomore. As a freshman, had 12 passes defended and a pick. Last year, only 5 passes defended. But I think Ohio State hasn't had a really great cornerback in a couple of years. I think he will become that this year, become one of the best cover players in the country. At number 8, I got Donovan Jackson. Ohio State's the best skill position players in college football, but it doesn't matter if you don't have anybody to block for them. Donovan Jackson's Ohio State's best offensive line, which I think will be good this year. Got to get the tackles figured out, but they should be fine. I think Donovan Jackson's going to be a big piece up front for them. At number 7, I got Jack Sawyer, edge rusher, also former #1 ESPN recruit. Last year at 11 pressures, 4 sacks, and 313 snaps. Last year, Ohio State had pretty much 4 edge rushers. They rotated him. JT Tuimoloau, I think is how you pronounce it. I still don't know. Jean Baptiste, who transferred to Notre Dame. Ohio State will get their revenge in week 4. Yeah. And then Zach Harrison was a 3rd-round pick to the Falcons. But I think Jack Sawyer's going to have a big year. Ohio State needs one more big-time edge rusher since Chase Young, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa. I think it's going to be either him or at number 6, JT Tuimoloau. I'm bad at pronouncing, but yeah, I think one of these two will become one of the best edge rushers in the country. Tuimoloau, former, also really high recruit. Last year against Penn State, showed what he can do in one game when he had 2 sacks, forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, a passes defended, and a touchdown. Except for that, didn't really do anything, but he has the potential. So he's going to have to, if he can do even closer against Penn State for a full season, he'll become one of the best players in the country and an All-American probably. At number 5, I got the 3rd defensive lineman on this list, and that's Michael Hall Jr. Last year, he was a part-time player in 270 snaps, 7.5 TFLs, 4.5 sacks, 10 pressures. I think can become one of the best interior defensive linemen in the country. Ohio State's going to have an amazing defense this year like they're used to. Haven't really had it the last couple of years. But all players on this list so far have been defense. They're all going to be big parts of one of the best defenses in the country. Number 4, I got one part of the best receiving duo in college football, best receiving trio also. Maybe even best, whatever the word is for 4 quadruple with Xavier Johnson. He was like a receiver, running back, plays kick returner from. Also have some new freshmen, some sophomores who will play next year and all that. But Igbuka last year had 74 catches for over 1,100 yards, 10 touchdowns, had like 80 rushing yards, a couple rushing touchdowns. Slot-o-matic, that's what he is. He's going to play mostly in the slot with Fleming and Harrison Jr. on the outside, but he can also play on the outside. Last year, at like the beginning of the year, he was better than Marvin Harrison Jr., but it's not for the full year. Still an amazing receiver. Got him at number 4. At number 3, this might be a little high. Some people, I got Tommy Eichenberg, one of the best linebackers in the country now. And he runs the defense. Last year, put up stats of 120 tackles, 2.5 sacks, interception, couple passes defended, just did a little bit of everything. The mic for this defense, but really, really good player. Came back to win championship, could have gone to the draft. Got him at number 3. Now, number 2 is just kind of cheating. I don't know what to do with the running backs. TreVeyon Henderson, Mine Williams, Dallin Hayden, already mentioned Xavier Johnson. Also have Evan Pryor coming back from injury. Chris Trainum. Yeah, that's how you say it. Played a little last year at the end of the year and they were really hurt, but TreVeyon Henderson will be their number 1 running back if he can get back to his freshman form, I think. The freshman was one of the best players in the country, the best freshman in the country, 1,200 yards, double-digit touchdowns, also had 300 receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns. Last year only played 8 games, only had 570 yards, 5 or 6 touchdowns. I can't read my handwriting. Mine Williams was the main running back last year in 12 games, even though he was hurt also. Had close to 1,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, and Dallin Hayden as the third running back had over 500 yards, 5 touchdowns. One of the only teams in college football with 3 500-yard rushers. If they can all be healthy, it'll be the best rushing attack in college football with the best receiving attack, passing attack in college football. At number 1, I got the second best player in the country. I think Caleb Williams is the first, but Marvin Harrison Jr. Absolute monster, has the potential to go number 1 next year as a receiver. Even though it'll probably be Caleb Williams unless the Cardinals do Cardinal-type things, which would probably be drafting Harrison Jr. because they believe in Kyler that much. But last Harrison Jr. had over 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns. He's the best receiver in college football. He's the favorite for the Blitnikoff Award. Best receiver in college football wins that. Jalen Hyatt won it last year. I don't know what Harrison Jr. is going to put up this year. Kyle McCord was his high school quarterback, so I have a connection. I think he could have close to 2,000 yards. I really do. But that is my top 10 players for Ohio State this year, plus a couple extras. If anybody's still watching this, please like and subscribe. I'm obviously an Ohio State fan, so I'm making this video. But if there's any team anybody wants to see, comment it below. And I promise that I will do it before the season starts. College football is almost here. I'm hyped. Thanks for watching.